Hey everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Erin Foley, career and life coach, and today I want to talk to you about criticism. And the first question I want to ask you is, do you have a deep fear of criticism? Do you try to avoid situations, avoid taking on projects where you might be susceptible to a lot of critique or feedback, avoid putting yourself out there so that you're not susceptible to a lot of feedback? It is very common to not enjoy criticism. I don't actually know anyone who's super comfortable with it. I don't know anyone who's like, bring it on, tell me that I suck, I don't really care. However, what I have learned in my life, working with clients, really partnering and being involved with so many like wildly successful online entrepreneurs, I tend to sort of study them and study their personalities and study what they do because that's just what I do. That's how my mind works. And one of the things that I realized quite quickly was that people who are living really big lives, really chasing their dreams, feeling deeply fulfilled in their life, building the kind of success they want in their life, they have an ability to tolerate criticism and to even ask for extensive feedback on their projects, their career, their life, their relationships. Meaning that people who have an intense fear of criticism have a tendency to build their life much smaller than their actual potential. Because what's happening is you are avoiding taking the risks that you want. You're avoiding really embracing opportunities. You're avoiding making changes, taking on a project, asking for what you're worth, really growing in your career. It's very common when people have an intense fear of criticism and they think they can't handle it and they can somehow control not getting it by staying small to make decisions that keep their life pretty small. So I want you to really reflect and ask yourself, are you a person who is so afraid of criticism that you are building your life below your potential? You're not alone in doing that. Your brain doesn't like criticism because it doesn't want to die, essentially. So it perceives criticism as you not belonging in some way, you not being enough in some way, and then it thinks, oh my gosh, I'm not going to survive if that happens. So it's a very natural instinct to feel a sting from being criticized. But people who are able to take the sting and then quickly move past it and really look at, is this constructive criticism? Is this feedback that can better myself, my relationship, this project, my career in some way? Or is this sort of mean-spirited, projected criticism? It doesn't speak to me, it doesn't seem accurate, it doesn't have anything to do with me. People who are able to really move past the sting and look at that are able to build their life in a way that is much more connected to what they actually want and what their actual potential is. So I really want to encourage you to start practicing building your muscle around accepting feedback, criticism, critique, putting yourself in situations where you may receive feedback that you don't necessarily want to hear. And part of that's going to be really reminding yourself that it's possible for me to build this muscle and it's possible for me to handle it. I'm not actually going to die if someone doesn't like what I did or gives me feedback that's negative. I can't always control the feedback that I get. This is so important because a lot of people think if I stay small or do everything perfect or keep every duck in a row, I'll never receive any criticism. There is much more freedom in really understanding that you can build that muscle so you can handle the criticism, so you don't have to sort of live in a space all the time where you're clinging to everything for fear that if you let go at all, you're going to receive feedback that you can't handle. You certainly can handle criticism. You've probably already handled it in your life. You've been given negative feedback in your life. The extent to which you made that mean anything about your deep self-worth is likely the extent to which you avoid or don't avoid criticism. So if you made it mean when you got negative feedback, I suck in this job, I shouldn't be doing this career, I'm not good enough, I'm not who I thought I was going to be, I'm an imposter in some way, if those are the stories that you tell yourself, then you are far more likely to avoid criticism. If you can start practicing, really understanding that feedback isn't about your deep sense of worth or belonging in the world. It's a specific piece of information that's being given to you about a project, about your relationship, about your performance. And you have the ability to put on your investigator hat and to look at that criticism and decide, is this something that I can use constructively to better myself, better my career, better this project, better my life in some way? Is this a projection of someone else's stuff? It doesn't ring true for me, and it doesn't really feel like anything that's going to help me better my life. If you can get good at moving past the sting, looking at it with an investigative lens, you will become far more likely to take the risks that you want in your life, to take on more projects, to ask for more of like what you're worth within your career, because you won't be so afraid of putting yourself in situations where you're going to be receiving feedback. So that is my message for today. It's normal to not like criticism. It's problematic when you start building your life in a way that really forces you to try to avoid it. You can handle it. Practice handling it. And one of the best ways you can practice handling it is to ask for feedback in your life. Ask your boss, ask your colleague, ask your partner, and ask them specifically to tell you where you can be doing a better job. Ask them specifically to tell you where you might have weaknesses. Really practice hearing it, taking it in, understanding I can survive this. I can handle this. This doesn't mean I'm not worthy in some way. This is a message for me to take in and decide, is this something that's constructive to help me build my life in a way that is better than it is right now? So that's my message for today. I hope that was helpful. Please feel free to check out my coaching programs on erinmfoley.com. I hope you have a great week, and I will be back for more career information for you.